Did you know that in some parts of the United States, it's technically illegal to honk your car horn near a sandwich shop at night, fall asleep in a cheese factory, or even catch a fish with your bare hands? Some of these laws were written decades ago for very specific reasons, but many of them still exist today in official law books. And when you read them now, they sound so strange, it's hard to believe they're real. Today, we're looking at 12 of the most ridiculous laws in the United States. #1 Barbershop Flamingo Fiasco. So get this, if you're ever in Juneau, Alaska, and you happen to own a pet flamingo, you're officially banned from bringing it into a barbershop. Yeah, you heard me right. A flamingo. At the barber. Now, a law like this doesn't just pop up out of nowhere. Usually, these things happen because some local character actually tried it and caused a total scene. Can you imagine the chaos? Barbers ducking, customers yelling, and a giant pink bird just flapping around while someone's trying to get a fade. Either that, or they just wanted to make sure businesses didn't accidentally turn into petting zoos. Still, it's a pretty hilarious image to wrap your head around. 2 quirky rules you didn't know over in Arkansas. There is this super specific rule where you can't honk your car horn anywhere near a sandwich shop after 9 p.m. It sounds completely random, but it's probably just a creative way to handle noise complaints. Think about it, sandwich shops and late night spots are usually right next to residential areas. Instead of passing some broad noise ordinance, someone decided to get weirdly specific about the sandwich shops. Imagine getting pulled over and having to explain that you weren't speeding, you were just honking too close to a subway. #3 quirky laws you didn't know. Now, this one in Arizona is actually kind of a big deal. Technically, it can be illegal to refuse someone a glass of water in certain situations. This isn't just for laughs, though. It's a practical thing. Arizona is famous for that brutal desert heat, and when it gets that hot, dehydration can get dangerous fast. Because of that, local rules basically encourage everyone to be a decent human being and provide water if someone is really struggling. It sounds weird on paper, but honestly, in a place where the sun is trying to kill you, it's just common sense. #4 Password Police Territory. Tennessee actually stepped in and passed a law making it illegal to share your Netflix password with people outside your home. Back when streaming first blew up, everyone was just handing out their logins like candy. But companies started noticing they were losing a ton of money, so Tennessee decided to treat digital subscriptions like actual property. While it's not like the password police are kicking down doors, the fact that your login could technically be a legal issue is a pretty wild reminder of how fast technology changes the rules. 5 strange laws you didn't know in Fort Thomas, Kentucky. It's actually against the law for dogs to chase people or other animals. I mean, at first glance, that's just funny. Chasing things is literally what dogs do for fun. But the logic is all about public safety. Dogs chasing cyclists or runners can cause some pretty nasty accidents, so the law puts the responsibility squarely on the owner to keep their pup under control. It's still pretty funny to imagine someone trying to explain the legal system to a golden retriever who just saw a squirrel. #6, One's Company. Hawaii has this interesting rule where you are allowed to have more than one alcoholic drink sitting in front of you at a time. The goal here is to keep people from overdoing it and reduce the typical rowdiness you see at bars. By limiting the drink count on the table, it forces the staff to keep a closer eye on how much everyone is actually tossing back. It leads to a pretty funny mental image, though somebody having to chug their last sip just so the waiter can finally set down their next round. #7 Bare Hands No Go in Indiana. You can actually get in trouble for catching a fish with your bare hands. It sounds like something out of a survival show, right? But the state is actually trying to protect the local wildlife. There's a whole practice called noodling that can really mess with the ecosystem and bypass all the normal fishing regulations. To keep things fair and sustainable, they just made it a flat-out rule: stick to the rods and nets. It is still funny to think about someone proudly grabbing a fish out of the water only to realize they just broke the law. Number Y, curds and consequences. In South Dakota, it is strictly illegal to fall asleep inside a cheese factory. Yeah, specifically a cheese factory. It sounds like a total joke until you remember what those places are actually like. They're full of heavy machinery and moving parts, so it's a massive safety hazard if a worker nods off. The law probably started as a way to keep people alert, but the way it's phrased makes it sound like someone somewhere had a really legendary nap on a giant wheel of cheddar. 9, only in Alabama. This one is a bit of a throwback. In Alabama, bear wrestling matches are totally prohibited. It's common sense now, obviously, but back in the day, these were actual traveling shows. They were dangerous for the people and, frankly, pretty cruel to the animals. Laws were eventually passed to shut it all down, but the fact that they had to write a law specifically banning bear wrestling tells you everything you need to know about how wild things used to be. #10, not your kids for sale down in Florida. There's a law that explicitly states it is illegal to sell your children. Now, you'd think that would be a given, right? But legal language is often written to be as blunt as possible to close every single loophole. When you're dealing with serious issues like trafficking, the law doesn't leave anything to the imagination. It's one of those rules that sounds bizarrely simple when you read it, but it's there for a very dark, very serious reason. Number, illegal loopholes and booze deals. If you're looking for a 2-for-1 deal at a bar in Georgia, you're out of luck. It's actually illegal. The idea is that those kinds of promos encourage people to drink way more than they normally would, which leads to more DUIs and public disturbances. By banning the deals, they're trying to keep the nightlife a bit more manageable. It is just one of those things where the law stands between you and a cheap happy hour. #12, strange pet laws. And finally, in Billings, Montana, it's actually illegal to own a pet rat. Most places don't mind them, but some cities are terrified of infestations or diseases. They're worried that if a pet rat escapes and starts breeding, it could turn into a massive pest problem for the whole neighborhood. So they decided it was just easier to ban them entirely. It's still a bit sad for the rat lovers out there, though. And those are 12 of the weirdest laws you can still find in the US. Some are for safety, some are just old leftovers, and some, well, we'll probably never know what they were thinking. If you like checking out these bizarre rules, definitely hit that subscribe button and stick around for more strange facts and history. Because sometimes real life is way weirder than anything we can make up.